September 14, 1939, Stratford, Connecticut, United States. Igor Sikorsky flight tested, piloting the VS-300, the very first practical use VTOL aircraft, a vertical takeoff and landing vehicle, capable of taking off from a standstill position, launching into the air and landing vertically. This particular rotary craft was designed by Sikorsky with the now standard single main rotor and tail rotor helicopter configuration, demonstrating the standard for helicopter manufacturing globally. This type of aircraft is diverse and comes in many different variations. The distinction of being able to take off and land without relying on a runway makes takeoff and landing aircrafts a unique category. Today, we will take a closer look at the various types of VTOL aircraft and explore some of their individual qualities. They've appeared in many movies, some including science fiction, dramas, and of course, action. They're usually accompanied by a low-frequency noise, a heavy bass-like sound that can be heard and felt due to the vibration of the rotors and the engine. The typical acronyms in the aviation rotary design and build industry are many we might not be usually aware of, such as to name a few VTOL, STOL, VS-TOL, and eVTOL, which respectively stand for vertical short, and electrical vertical takeoff and landing. The VTOL aircraft we are more familiar with is the helicopter, otherwise known as a Unicopter, a helicopter configuration with a single main rotor and a vertical anti-torque tail rotor. The helicopter comes in its own variants as well, including one of the earliest and even craziest designs, the Monocopter, also called the monorotor, with a single main rotor. Other configurations include the Bicopter with twin main rotors, the Quadcopter with 4 blades, and the Multicopter, which are usually drones, with multiple rotor configurations. In science fiction, though, there are multiple vertical lift vehicles that have a similar configuration to the Multicopter, like the C-21 Dragon from Avatar and the Helicarrier from the Avengers movies. Transformers transform from robot mode to vehicle mode and from vehicle mode to robot mode in reverse. The Bell Boeing V-22 Osprey does much the same thing as does other Tiltrotor aircrafts, fictional or otherwise. Transforming from a VTOL, a vertical takeoff and landing, to a STOL, a short takeoff and landing aircraft. This means it can take off as a combo helicopter and airplane and land that way, as well, effectively turning into a turboprop. Or it can take off like a helicopter, fly like an airplane and land like an airplane, and again do the reverse. There have been a few reimaginings in science fiction films, in particular of the Tiltrotor design as depicted in, for example, the movie Avatar. Those reimagined aircrafts are the S-8 Samson and a T-99 Scorpion gunship, with a similar coaxial rotor design configuration of some helicopter variants, though far removed, like the innovative S-97 Raider with a push-tail rotor built by the legendary Sikorsky Aircraft, a Lockheed Martin company. Yet other forms of the VTOL class of aircraft include the lighter than air types, called aerostat. These include, for example, the Goodyear Blimp, also called an airship like the infamous Hindenburg. Included in this category of lighter than air aircraft are hot air balloons, which are propelled by propane gas. Then there is the class of vertical lift aircrafts that use a combustion exhaust propulsion system, thrust vectoring, rather than propellers or air for VTOL flight operations. The V-8B Harrier and the Lockheed Martin F-35B Lightning II, vertical lift aircrafts that employ use of thrust vectoring technology. Both of these aircrafts demonstrated their VTOL capability in test flights, but are operationally short takeoff and vertical landing when fully loaded. So basically, there are three main types of VTOL aircrafts from the perspective of their propulsion system used, those being rotary, lighter than air and exhaust thrust.